Hey guys, Mars Thinking here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so for today's video, I thought we would take a little bit of a stroll down memory lane and have a look at the previous iterations of the Saiyan Day celebration, how it has evolved over the last couple of years, and what sort of things this could lead us to expect from this year's celebration. So let me know down below in the comments, how long have you been playing the game? What was your first Saiyan Day celebration? Make sure you smash that like button if you're enjoying the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. But let's go ahead and jump straight in here. So as you can see, in the second year, I'm going by global, of course, because I am a global main. Going by the global list of celebrations, you can see as we scroll down here, once we get around here to sort of like the March area, because it's the 18th of March, remember, it's officially Saiyan Day. So we had the launch of the first ever Extreme Z battle, which was the AGL Goku. This one, I believe, was not ever advertised in any way as Saiyan Day. So there were no Saiyan Day, there was no Saiyan Day banner. There was just literally the introduction of the Extreme Z battle, and then there was a banner that had, the Goku and units that you could use against the Goku. And then a couple of other little, minor events. But basically, no official recognition of Saiyan Day in the news in this year. So the next year came along, and this was the first official Saiyan Day celebration on global, and this of course brought us a couple of interesting things. We got the release of the physical transforming Vegeta, who dropped alongside a banner Int Super Vegeta. The Int Super Vegeta was actually pretty decent when he first came out, primarily designed to be used against Android enemies. He could be very, very cool with an easy A as we move forward. So we had the release of physical transforming Vegeta with his Dokkan event. So this unit, when he first came out, I remember I streamed summons for him, and I managed to get very, very lucky, because back then I really was not a whale at all. I think I did like 500 stones on his banner, which was all I had basically at the time, and I managed to pull, I think, 3 copies of him. I think back then that was probably one of the luckiest summoning sessions I'd ever had, to pull 3 copies of the new unit in 500 stones. So very, very good. Obviously, it was a pure Saiyans lead for 150% across the board. People liked having this leader, because obviously the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta that transforms into evolution only had 130% for attack, and back then everybody really wanted to see their pure Saiyan units putting up as big numbers as possible. So he also had the super class sub lead, so he was a really good leader for people that needed one for a whole variety of teams. Obviously, just like the transforming Goku and Frieza, he transforms every single turn up through various forms, which does have its issues with like the changing link set, the fact you only really get to use one for each turn. They did put a little bit more effort into his earlier super attacks. I remember the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta has a pretty cool super attack animation. And then the God one is okay, and then the blue one is obviously really, really good. He gets that one turn massive nuke because he changes the entire key field of orbs to orange key spheres. So on release, he was definitely very, very good. Much like the transforming Goku and Frieza before they got their easy A, he's kind of at a point now where he's not really runnable in difficult content. So an easy A for him would definitely be very, very cool. Could be right around the corner. Obviously, we know AGL Blue Evolution Vegeta is going to get an Easy A during this Saiyan Day, so I doubt they will Easy A this guy as well, but hopefully his will be coming sometime soon, and judging by what we saw from Goku's and Frieza's, then he could obviously be very, very strong. So looking down, we got a whole bunch of sales. I kept a note of the number of stones it was for each year, because they did steadily increase them over time. So if you bought all the sales for this physical Vegeta Saiyan Day, it was 673 stones in total. Then we got these royal crests that were given out. I believe they gave out 2, because we did get the Easy A for the 2 Father-Son Gallic Gun units during this event. And so they added this trunk Vegeta family crest into the barbershop. I believe it was limited to twice. I think you got 2. So if you needed more copies of one, like if you already had the other one rainbowed, you could just pick up 2 copies of the same one, which I believe I did. I think I had Trunks rainbowed and just picked up 2 copies of Vegeta. But obviously that's pretty cool, right, considering that they're getting an easy A in the celebration. So if you didn't have them at all, they basically let you get both of them for free, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, there was a summon banner for them as well. And we did hit top grossing during that time. So we got 37 orbs. It was Google Play and the Apple Store, only in France apparently, but we got 37 stones and a bunch of physical orbs, which is obviously very nice. So kind of a minor Saiyan Day celebration, a new Dokkan Fest. We had an easy A for 2 banner units. They did give us the ability to get those banner units for free and a pretty decent amount of sales. We had a refresh for Ultimate Clash, but obviously there wasn't a ton of these other newer game modes around at the time. But overall, a pretty solid celebration, especially remembering that, you know, Saiyan Day is one of the shorter celebrations. Definitely had some interesting stuff in here. So next up, we move on to the next year, and this was the Valiant Warrior Race Saiyan Day campaign. So this one was obviously the release of the Agl Bardock, as well as the free-to-play Bardock squad. So in terms of the stones, if you picked up all the sales, it was 797 in total. This is, what, 126 or 124 more than the previous year, so extra sales. Obviously this isn't really important if you're like a free-to-play player, but basically the amount of stone sales have been going up each year. So the anniversary or big celebrations like that are usually where they drop all the big really good sales. So seeing Saiyan Day get those extra ones is good, especially when the units are kind of hype, because this brings us to the Agl Bardock and the Tech Raditz. Tech Raditz actually was really good. I didn't pull a single copy of him on the actual Saiyan Day banner, but he was a unit that makes like Extreme Tech, Extreme Super Battle Road much easier. He can be used in Pure Saiyan's Extreme Super Battle Road as well. Like, he's just really good for Super Battle Road. He gets damage reduction against multiple enemies and can guaranteed stun, so he's a really good banner unit. He's aged a little bit now. Like, if you take him into Pure Saiyan's Extreme Super Battle Road, that stun can be very useful, but even with the damage reduction, he does take quite a bit of damage. And then, of course, we have Agl Bardock. So, Agl Bardock's kind of become a bit of a meme now. People like to make fun of him, say that he's not good anymore. I mean, he doesn't stack up to some of the newer Dokkan Fests, of course, but at his release, he was pretty good, right? So, Revenge or low-class warriors, it's not the best combination. There's some good units on Revenge. There's a couple of decent units on low-class warriors like Turles. We got the new, obviously, version Z, LR Goku is on there. But this team, little bit of a weird combination. 4 key, though, in the leader skill is nice. And then attack and defense 170. He infinitely stacks defense on Super. And then you can transform him into a Super Saiyan either from turn 4 or right from the start if you're fighting a Wicked Bloodline enemy. He does get extra attack if there's more low-class warriors on the team, and then he has attacks effective against all types against a Wicked Bloodline enemy. He's got a pretty decent link set, and then when he transforms into Super Saiyan, I still love his transformation animation, even to this day. You guys know I'm a big fan of Bardock, and the episode of Bardock as well, so once transformed, he raises attack and defense for 1 turn, does immense damage to the enemy, greatly lowers defense. He's got attack 180%, defense 100. So the idea with this guy would obviously be in longer form events. You want to stack him up as long as possible till his defense gets to a decent amount, and then you transform him, and then he can be pretty good. Now, the problem he has is once you transform, he gets a few little buffs. So you've got attacks effective against all types when it's fighting extreme class enemies. That's fine. Key +3. Chance of performing a crit and chance to dodge 18%, and reduces damage received by 18% for 5 turns. So it seems like a nice little addition, but especially if you haven't stacked up his defense very much, 18% damage reduction isn't a huge amount, and then 18% chance to crit and 18% chance to dodge, again, is not a huge amount. I've seen multiple turns where like Transformed Bardock just doesn't dodge a single attack, which is unfortunate. He launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super, and all attacks become crits when there's a Wicked Bloodline enemy. So, obviously, against a Wicked Bloodline enemy, he's at his best, but there's not a lot of events in the game where that is the case. At some point in the future, maybe we will get a Fighting Legend Frieza. Obviously, the Red Zone has a cooler stage, but this guy is already a little bit too outdated to be being used in something like the Red Zone. But an easy A for him. I can't wait to see what he would look like. He would be absolutely crazy. So then we obviously had a support summon for his new category. We had his event, and then we got the new release of the event for the free-to-play Bardock squad. So it was a similar format to the Ginyu Force that we already had. One event per day, farm the unit up, get the orbs for them completely for free. They use their own orbs, get them fully rainbowed, and then once you have all 5 of them rainbowed, you were then able to get the LR Bardock squad. And then they added 1 or 2 copies later on for missions, although of course this in and of itself is still a meme that we still don't have the last 2 copies. So maybe they'll release them this year, even though it seems like this celebration is going to be Majin Vegeta and therefore potentially Buu Saga themed. But we still need these 2 copies. I link level 10 these guys. I did a showcase for them a while ago, but like only at 79%. They weren't that crazy even on release. Like when you look at their passive, they don't have any of their own attack and defense. They just have the 60% that they're getting from their support passive. So really my biggest hope for Saiyan Day for them is that they get those last 2 copies and get an easy A at the same time. And then they could actually potentially be useful. But definitely a cool unit to be added into the game, especially with the free-to-play squad as well. Then again, we got a battlefield reset. We got Super Battle Road available every day, which fortunately is now the case all the time. A bunch of events returning, and that is it. So we actually did not get any major Easy A during this celebration. We did get a whole new free-to-play team and a new free-to-play LR, but no major Easy A during this one. So then that brings us to last year. So this is the celebration for last year, the Awakened Battle Instinct Saiyan Day campaign. So this one, even more stones available. I think the total is 979. So that's up almost another 200 from the previous year. They added basically 2 extra 91 packs. So yeah, it's 182 extra. And then we got the Dokkan Festival for Int Broly with the side banner unit STR Trunks. Now, when we look at these 2 units, in comparison to the other units that we've looked at, like these 2 units are absolutely runnable now. I think Int Broly, I made a video about it a while back. If you guys haven't seen it, search it up on the channel. I think Broly is probably the most underrated 2021 Dokkan Fest. You can still use him in events now. You can use him and his team in the Legendary Vegeta event. Obviously, he's designed for longer form events because he infinitely stacks. He has built-in chance to crit as well as damage reduction, and then once he's launched his super attack, if you're fighting a pure Saiyan or hybrid Saiyan, then he gets even more damage reduction and crit chance. So with the fact that he can launch multiple additionals, that second, third, fourth, etc. super attack have more of a chance to crit, and he has more damage reduction. So even after the first turn, if you supered a couple of times, he can be very, very good defensively. A lot of people didn't like his active skill. He gives himself a nice big buff, but you have to super attack 4 times, which unless you get the godly RNG of getting 4 super attacks on turn 1, it means you can't use it until turn 5. But he is a unit designed for longer form events. I like using his active skill as kind of like a finisher, so you can build him up, especially in the Vegeta event, for example. You can have him building up, and then in that final phase, just use his active skill and go absolutely ham. The only downside is because he's very RNG related, because you can get those bad turns where he does a super attack and then like 1 additional normal attack, and then that's basically it. Whereas on the turn where you want him to, where you use his active skill, you obviously want him to be getting as many attacks as possible because he's getting a massive attack buff. So he can be a little bit RNG related, but I still think he is really, really good. Very strong unit. And of course, the side banner unit was this STR Trunks, who I would say nowadays is like still a must-run unit on hybrid Saiyan teams. Like he's still really, really good. And most of the time, I don't even use him with a Gohan Youth in the same turn, which increases his attack stacking on his super, as well as going up to immense damage from supreme damage. But even with this, raising attack and defense for 1 turn, supreme damage, medium chance to stun, he's got 200% attack and defense, as well as being a 40% support. So he has a medium chance to launch an additional. So with dupes, he can triple super. So he's got like 240% attack and defense at the start of the turn, and then he's raising attack and defense on super 3 times. So even in really difficult content, he tanks really, really well whilst being a support unit. So Saiyan Day units from last year, like absolutely just different breed compared to the previous years. So we had that support banner for Broly's new category, we had the new events, we had a new stage of Infinite Dragon Ball history, then we had new Extreme Z area stuff, obviously a bunch of the events returning, a bunch of Easy A's returning related to Broly, and then, of course, we got Now, this for Global, because this came out before the 6th anniversary, this was Global's first ever LR EZA, summonable LR EZA. And boy, was it a doozy. Because LR Broly is probably still considered the best EZA LR, unless you know, depending on what you think about Goku and Frieza when it comes to more difficult content. Like, this guy is an absolute monster. He went from being never used anywhere except in the World Tournament to being an absolute beast that could destroy Super Battle Road stages. So, absolutely crazy. Every single LR EZA that has come after him is always directly compared to him in terms of how good of a job that they did. And this just came with Saiyan Day on a same version, like, you know, dual version at the same time celebration. Nobody expected this to come and be as ridiculously good as it was. And then we had a nice co-op campaign as well, which you completed just by beating all of the stages and doing the various things that you were probably going to do anyway. And of course it ended with us getting a wallpaper, which was a newer feature added into the game a little bit before. And I assume we're probably going to get something similar to that again. We also got a new chain battle, because this was an event that was around now, and some returning story events. So as you can see, over the years, Saiyan Day has just gotten better and better with the release of new events and new things like Infinite Dragon Ball History, chain battle, all that kind of stuff. New stages for that have been made a part of this celebration. The sales have been very good. Obviously, this only applies to people who spend, but sales have been very good. Bear in mind, we never get ticket packs because it's on the same, like on both versions at the same time, and JP doesn't ever get those. So a little bit of an L for Global there so that they can keep it in line with JP. But going by the units from last year, like, these guys, super, super good. I'm very, very excited to see what Saiyan Day is going to bring for this year. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Are you excited? Are you still holding fast to saving until the anniversary? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.